There is a particular flinch just before you open the banking app. A half-second of bracing. You know the number cannot have changed much since yesterday, and still the small dread. Or it is the night version, lying in the dark, doing arithmetic. The rent against the pay date, the thing that broke this month, the school fees, the card. The quiet count of how many paychecks stand between you and trouble. And here is the part almost nobody says out loud. The people earning double what you earn are doing the same arithmetic. So are the people earning double that? The number changes, the flinch survives. You have already passed incomes that once looked like the end of all money worry. You passed them, and the worry updated its address and moved in with the new salary. So here is what I want to show you. Why the anxiety does not end when the money comes, at any level. The two different problems hiding inside the phrase, money worries. And an old word, maybe the wisest ever attached to wealth. A word that quietly asks the question your bank balance never will. First, an honest separation. Glib spirituality about money is a lie told by the comfortable. Sometimes the money problem is arithmetic. The number genuinely does not cover the need. The rent really is due. The gap really is there. If that is where you are, hear this clearly. That is not a mindset issue. It is not your vibration. No reframe pays a bill. It deserves practical action. Budgeting, planning, asking, earning, the unglamorous work. And the tradition, as we will see, has full respect for exactly that work. Nothing here asks you to meditate at an empty fridge. But run the honest test. If the arithmetic were solved, would the feeling go? For most people, most of the time, the anxiety is not tracking the arithmetic. It was there in the lean years. It is still here in the better ones. It survives raises, windfalls, good months. That is the second problem, the one this is about. Not the absence of money. The presence of a fear that money keeps promising to cure and never does. Do this quietly. Recall the salary that 10 years ago would have meant you had made it, the number that meant safe. There is a fair chance you have reached it or passed it. And notice what happened when you did. Nothing. A brief exhale, a few easier months, and then the line moved. Safe now lives at a higher number, and you are beneath it again, looking up, exactly as before. Every earner, at every level, reports the same horizon, always a bit further on. Just a little more, says everyone, at every income on earth. The line moves because you are asking money to buy something, not for sale. Certainty. The real purchase you keep trying to make is a future that cannot hurt you. And no number reaches it. The future stays uncertain at every balance. Illness does not check your savings first, nor does loss, nor change, nor time. Somewhere inside, you know this, so no matter what arrives, the guard never stands down. The anxiety was never really about money. Money was the bucket you were using to carry an unanswerable question. How do I make tomorrow safe? And buckets do not hold that. The tradition knew all of this, and it staged the truth in the most extreme scene imaginable. In the Kathopanishad, a boy named Nachiketa stands before Mrityu himself, death, who owes him 3 wishes. And Mrityu, dodging the boy's hardest question, offers him the whole catalog instead. Sons and grandsons who will live 100 years. Cattle, elephants, gold, horses. Land as vast as he pleases, as many years of life as he cares to count. Every form of wealth a human has ever chased, offered in a single breath by the one being who could actually deliver all of it. And the boy hands the catalog back with one line. Navitten tarparniyo manushya. A human being cannot be satisfied by wealth. Keep the horses, he says. They wear out. All of this lasts only until tomorrow. A child, before death, with infinite wealth on the table. And he is the one explaining that the money was never going to be enough. It is the oldest recorded refusal of the moving number. He saw the horizon for what it was, with everything on offer, which is more than most of us manage with a pay slip. Now the old word, it may be the single wisest thing any tradition ever did with wealth. Arth, wealth, money, property, prosperity, the material means of life. And the tradition did something with it that surprises people. It made art one of the 4 Purushart, the 4 legitimate aims of a life. Not a temptation, not a corruption, an aim honored alongside the others. This tradition worships Lakshmi. It lights lamps for abundance. It expects the householder to earn well and provide amply. There is no virtue in an empty pot here. If you came expecting money is the root of evil, you are in the wrong civilization. But here is the move, and it is everything. Arth, it carries a second meaning, and it is not a coincidence, it is the teaching. Arth, it also means meaning, purpose, what something is for, the same word. Ask a Sanskrit speaker for a sentence's art, and they give you its meaning. The language itself refuses to let wealth and purpose be separate words. Every coin, by its very name, carries the question, what am I for? That is the diagnosis of the anxiety, in one word. Money with a purpose is art, in full, an instrument, serving a life you could name. Money without a purpose is just a number that must always grow. A number with no destination has no such thing as enough. Enough is only measurable against a purpose. Remove the purpose, and enough becomes mathematically impossible. You have signed up to chase a horizon. And the tradition tucked one more warning into the mythology with a smile. Chanchal. Lakshmi, the goddess of wealth herself, is traditionally called restless. The one who does not stay. Wealth, say the very people who worship it, is by nature a mover, flowing in and out, never still. You are welcome to honor her, invite her, work for her gladly. You are warned against one thing, making a foundation of what was always meant to flow. Anything that moves makes a fine river and a terrible foundation. One more layer, briefly, because you will recognize it. Somewhere along the way, money also became the score. Not just the means of life, but the measure of you. And once the balance is a verdict on your worth, every glance at the app is a small judgment day. That explains the flinch better than any bill does. We have talked about borrowed rulers before. This is the most borrowed ruler of all. And the wealthiest people you can name are still measuring with it, still behind someone. If the score could settle it, it would have settled for them. So, 2 moves, 1 for each problem. The whole skill is not mixing them up. First, when the money fear arrives, sort it. Ask one question: is this arithmetic or is this the horizon? If it is arithmetic, a real gap, a real bill, honor it with action, not philosophy. Sit down in daylight, look at the actual numbers, take the next practical step. That work is art, done properly, and the tradition bows to it. But if the numbers are, truthfully, covered this month, and the dread is still humming, name it honestly. This is the horizon. This is the safety that is not for sale. You cannot earn your way out of it. It is not an earning problem. It eases the way every unpayable fear eases, by coming back to the day you are actually in, which is, at this exact moment, almost always provisioned. Second, give your money back its art. Write down, in 1 line each, what the money is actually for, the real things. This home, these children's future, that freedom at 60, the parents' ease. The work you could choose if choosing became possible. Suddenly enough has a shape, because enough is only ever relative to a purpose. You will still work, maybe just as hard. But a person funding a named life walks differently from a person feeding a nameless number. One of them can arrive somewhere. The other has signed up for a horizon, and horizons recede at exactly the speed you approach them. The flinch before the app was never about this month's number. You have already outlived every number that was supposed to end it. Money is honorable. Earn it, grow it, enjoy it, provide with it. The tradition never asked you to be poor. It lights lamps for Lakshmi and means it. It only left one question inside the word itself, the one the balance can never answer. Artha, what is it for? Answer that, and enough finally has an address, a place you can actually arrive. Leave it unanswered, and you have signed up for the horizon, and no one has ever arrived at one of those.